Thank God now somebody else knows besides myself. She said, did you tell anybody else before? I said, no, you're the first. She goes, oh my God. I said, because she had 5 sisters, but 2 of them were really close to her. I said, you can go ahead and tell your sister. But I said, tell her not to tell anybody else. Well, she told her other sisters. So then there were 4 people that knew. 3 people besides myself that knew. Well, that went on for a couple years where we had that secret. And eventually I had to say to my spouse, I said, I need an outlet. I need something. I need a support group. I need to be able to be with people like me, my kind. I need to be around my kind. She goes, well, do what you got to do. She goes, I don't have anything to do with that, but do what you got to do. So there was an organization in Portland called the Northwest Gender Alliance. I looked them up on the internet, found their phone number, called them up. I said, I'd like to meet your organization. This person on the internet said, sure. We're going to meet next Tuesday at the Chinese restaurant in the bar. And you're welcome to come. You're welcome to either be dressed or not. Doesn't matter. I said, okay. I guess I'll do that. Well, I was coaching and I didn't have a chance to quote-unquote dress. I had by this time accumulated a lot of her sister's clothes because of those bags that were in the Goodwill thing. But it was still pretty ugly. And I coached that night, and I ended up going to this meeting at this restaurant, at this bar, is their lounge. I didn't know what I was going to run into when I got in there. So I walk into this restaurant. Lounge is on the right. I walk to the right, and I walk into this lounge, and forgive me for saying this, all these ugly women are sitting around. I'm thinking, holy crap! There are a whole bunch of men who with smiles going all the way around their head. Here was this bunch of guys drinking, having their wine, having their beer, sitting around talking, didn't care who saw them. Courage, let me tell you, these people had courage, and they were just happy. And so I sat there, and I talked to a few of them, and I got to know some of them. And I go, these are my people. So I decided to join up with them, and they met like the 3rd Saturday of every month and the 2nd Tuesday of every month. So there's twice a month that you could go. And I generally go to the Saturday ones, and I don't even know if Kendra knew that I was doing this. No, she didn't know. No one knew, except my spouse knew. And so it was for 3 hours, 12 to 3. And so I would go down there, and I would meet these other people. And the very first time I did this, I had never been outside my closet. Been out of the closet. And I had never been outside of it. So here I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. So I pack a bag. This is how I always did it. I did this for like 5 years. Whenever I'd go to these meetings, I'd pack a bag full of clothes because no one would ever want to see me. And my spouse said, I don't want you doing it here. I said, okay. So stuff the clothes in the bag, drive off, find a parking lot somewhere, hold a little mirror in front of me, and do this kind of thing. And cars would go by, and I'd go down. I didn't want them to see what I was doing. In fact, I had a bad experience one time. I was doing it in the parking lot, and this guy started circling my car. Oh man, that was scary. So I ended up getting the heck out of there. So I get to the place the very first time, and I'm in my car. And they met at a church. It was the basement of a church, some Unitarian or something. And I'm sitting in the car, and I parked. I'm in the car, and the door to the church is like, I don't know, 50 yards away, a long ways away. And so I'm sitting in the car, and I didn't realize it, but this church is in a neighborhood. And all these little kids are around. They're playing on the street. That's their neighborhood. They're in the street playing the balls and stuff. And so now I got to go outside where these kids are, and they're going to see me. And I'd never been out before. I didn't know what they'd start doing. Throw rocks or something. I don't know. So I'm sitting there in the car. It had to be 15 minutes just sitting there going, what am I going to do? And then finally I see someone walk from their car into the place. I go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So I hurry up, got out of the car, shut the door real fast, and ran to that door. And I can't remember if I had high heels on or not. I hardly ever wear those anyway, but I think I had them on at the time. And got in there. I was happy. There were about 6 other people there. And in that first session, we sat around and talked for 3 hours, those 7 people, and they convinced me I was okay. Because they were just like me. And that was really the start of accepting who I was. But what it did lead to was a thing called a spree. And it's a yearly, week-long conference up in Port Angeles, Washington. And so you can be yourself for the whole week. Well, it cost like $1,000, and I couldn't afford that. We had the family, and we weren't making that good of money. And so I was able to get a scholarship through this Northwest General Alliance. It was like, they gave me like $400 or something to go on this thing. So I went, and I was only up there from like Wednesday to Sunday, but it was the most life-changing thing I have ever been to. I have never seen happier people in my life. These grown men wearing these clothes with smiles going all the way around their heads. I kid you not, for all those days I was there. I could not believe it. I simply could not believe that these people existed. And so I would go there. I would go